All right, buckle up, because we're plunging into some seriously spicy Kenyan politics today.
Oh, yeah. What's happening?
Well, there's a brand spanking new party that just dropped the Democracy for the Citizen Party, or DCP.
Okay, DCP, new party.
And the online reaction, let's just say it's maybe more entertaining than a stand-up comedy night sometimes. We're talking unfiltered, laugh-out-loud commentary.
The internet commentary. Always a goldmine. So we've got sources on this.
Yep, we've got the receipts. We've been looking through 2 YouTube video transcripts covering the launch.
Right. And it's pretty raw stuff, I take it. Immediate reactions.
Totally. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to dig out the most hilarious, the most insightful, maybe the most unforgettable bits of public sentiment we found there.
Gotcha. A shortcut to the buzz with maybe a side of internet giggles, like you said. For you listening, we're aiming to give you the flavor of what people were saying right off the bat.
Okay, so the big reveal. The DCP. It's the brainchild of Rigathi Gachagua.
Okay. Gachagua. That makes sense in the current climate.
And the launch. Apparently it wasn't exactly, low-key.
Oh, really?
One of the videos used the word bwemwe to describe it.
Bwemwe. Right, that paints a picture, doesn't it? Sort of grandeur, fanfare.
Exactly. Like, think red carpets, maybe a marching band, the whole shebang. They were apparently aiming for May or June, so they just kind of squeaked in.
Okay, launched with a splash. And what about the supporters? What were they saying?
Well, what's kind of tickling me is how quickly some jumped on board and just the sheer creativity of how they put things.
Yeah.
Like, there was one comment, it actually had me chuckling out loud.
Go on.
You're going to love this.
Yeah.
Someone crowned Gachagua King Pine himself.
King
Pine. King Pine. I mean, where do you even come up with that? It's so random. It's brilliant, right?
King Pine. Okay. Wow. That's certainly memorable.
And then they declared that the jaw journeys start from now. JNY.
Janyan Ernie. Like internet shorthand for journey.
Must be, yeah. So it's like they're strapping in for this wild political road trip, led by a majestic conifer. You can't make this stuff up.
No, you really can't. It's that kind of unexpected stuff that makes trawling through comments worthwhile sometimes. So, King Pine's journey. Anything else?
Well, there's the party slogan they were batting around. Discrimination for Citizen Party.
Wait, discrimination for Citizen Party? Say that again?
Yeah, discrimination for Citizen Party.
That's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? I mean, in the best way, maybe?
Right. Like, is it a really bold statement about prioritizing citizens, even if it sounds a bit exclusionary, maybe?
Or is it some kind of clever wordplay we're missing? Or maybe just...
a typo, yeah. Could be.
The ambiguity is almost like performance art itself.
Totally. It makes you stop and go, wait, did I read that right? It's either genius marketing or a glorious mistake. Honestly, either way, it's pretty entertaining.
It definitely gets you talking, I suppose. Any other gems from the supporters?
Yeah, there was another one. Quite direct. They said there, Nainja nayo limurum lazima awakili.
Okay, breaking that down. Nainja nayo lamuru means like, I'm entering with it in Lamuru.
Yeah, taking the party to Lamuru, and then lazima awakilish. Basically saying representation there is a must.
So it's like King Pine is coming to Lamuru and representation is mandatory. Quite declarative.
Very. But, the internet being the internet.
Yeah.
It wasn't all majestic conifers and exciting journeys.
Of course not. There had to be some skepticism, some pushback, often wrapped in humor too, right?
Oh, absolutely. The shade was definitely being thrown. One commenter called someone, presumably someone they didn't like in this context, a biter man.
A biter man. Okay, that's descriptive.
And deemed them too dangerous for this country. Now, biter man isn't exactly, high-level political discourse.
No, it sounds more like a playground insult, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But you get that sort of visceral disapproval, don't you? Like something you'd yell during a squabble, but, about national politics.
And I bet the replies to that were just as feisty.
Oh, yeah. Pure online drama. Standard stuff.
And then I think I saw another one dismissing the whole launch.
Yeah, someone called it just a kara.
Kara, meaning like a show, a performance.
Spot on, implying it was all for show, no real substance behind the boom boy.
Right. And didn't they have a suggestion for like stage dressing?
Yeah, they suggested red will be better to show how dangerous you are a bit. The double will is the original comment, by the way.
Red to show danger. Wow. That's wonderfully dramatic, isn't it?
It really is. It's like they're saying, forget the fancy launch. If you want to look tough, just wear red. The mental image is quite something.
So a mix of, let's say, creative support and equally creative criticism.
Precisely. Well, okay, this is where the humor maybe takes a bit of a darker turn. Still very expressive, though.
How so?
Both video transcripts really highlight this nickname that seems to have gained a lot of traction, Kasongo.
Kasongo. Right. And context suggests this is aimed at William Ruto, and it's not exactly a compliment.
Not at all. It seems pretty clearly derogatory. And the second video transcript, it really leans into this. There's this whole call and response chant going on.
Okay, what are they chanting?
It's powerful and almost darkly comedic just because it's so relentless. The crowd just chants, Kasongo aende, over and over.
Kasongo aende.
Basically, Kasongo should go. Simple, direct, and pretty hard to ignore when a crowd's chanting. It's like the political version of a really persistent, slightly annoying earworm.
Kasongo must go. Got it. And did they elaborate on why Kasongo should go?
Oh, they elaborated. And they didn't pull any punches, often with some surprisingly vivid metaphors.
Like,
Well, straight up accusations of being a liar. Muongo si muongo ni muongo. The repetition there is almost like theatrical, you know.
yeah, emphasizes the point.
But then someone calls Kasongo fisi amivangozi yakondo.
A hyena in sheep's clothing. Wow, okay. That's a classic betrayal metaphor, isn't it? Delivered with real bite.
Definitely paints a vivid picture of deception, and the accusations just keep piling up, each one sort of more colorful than the last.
What else were they blaming him for?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Tanking the economy, wrecking healthcare, education, even specifically mentioning the impact on young construction workers, watu wa jezii.
So, a really comprehensive list of grievances, all pinned directly on Kasongo. Very direct.
Incredibly direct. And then we get this analogy that's just so specific, it's almost darkly funny.
Oh, yeah.
They want to throw Kasongo away. Kama baiskeli ya kuibiwa harobe.
It's like a stolen bicycle. From harobe a place, or?
Seems like harobe might imply broken or discarded in this context, maybe combined with the location. So like a stolen, broken down bicycle.
Okay, throwing him away like a useless stolen bike. That's
Yeah.
quite the image. Such a mundane object used as a symbol of political disposability.
Isn't it? You can almost picture someone chucking a rusty old bike into a ditch
Yeah.
with exactly that level of like frustrated satisfaction.
Yeah, I can see that. And were there other chants?
There were chants of one tom, or maybe one time.
One term.
Seems likely, yeah. Directed at both Ruto and Kasongo, suggesting a pretty widespread desire for just a single term, like the political version of saying one and done.
Okay, so the sentiment is strong, but I imagine some of the language got pretty heated too, beyond the metaphors.
Yeah, let's be real, the rhetoric gets pretty intense. There are direct accusations of being a murderer, muuaji, and a thief, mwizi, hurled straight at Kasongo.
Wow. Those are obviously extremely serious accusations.
Extremely. And while they are deadly serious, the sheer force and directness, especially in that street chant context, it has this kind of raw, almost performative quality to it as well.
Right, it's public, it's loud, it's meant to be heard.
Exactly. What's also interesting, though, is how the second video suggests a sort of united front emerging against Kasongo.
Like who?
The speaker reels off this list of leaders. Figures like Fred Matiangi, you know, the former powerful cabinet secretary.
Okay, yeah. Big name.
And even Lee Gigi.
Lee Gigi. You think that's...
Got to be Rigathi Gachagua, right?
Yeah.
Given the context of the DCP launch.
Makes sense. So Gachagua potentially part of this anti-Ruto coalition even as he launches his own party. Interesting dynamic.
Yeah, the speaker lists several others too. Mamamana, Karo, Ujin, Wamalwa, Kanonzo, Zioka, George, Natembi. It sounds like quite the assembly.
Like the political Avengers assembling, maybe, with Kasongo as their Thanos.
Huh, maybe.
Right.
And they declare they'll put forward just one leader to compete with Kasongo. Unity message.
Right. And what if the speaker himself gets chosen?
Well, then he says he's ready to Kimbiza I kama baiskeli yakubiwa harobe.
Chase him away like that same stolen, broken bike. That image just keeps coming back, doesn't it?
It really does. It's practically become the unofficial mascot for this whole sentiment, it seems.
It's certainly sticky. Any final points from the sources?
Yeah, one more thing. There's a direct call to action aimed right at the youth. Vijana, wangu, jezii, the speaker calls them.
My youth in jerseys. Like sports jerseys. Or just young people.
Probably just young people generally. Hailing them as the hope of Kenya.
Okay. And what's the call to action?
Standard mobilization stuff, really.
Yeah.
But framed within this whole Kasongo narrative. They're told, grab your IDs, register to vote.
And then
help out Kasongo. Get involved, make the change happen.
Right. Classic call to the youth vote, but with that very specific, very colorful anti-incumbent energy we've been hearing.
Exactly. So, yeah, wrapping things up, this deep dive into these, YouTube reactions, gives us this really unique, often pretty hilarious window into what people were saying right after the DCP launched.
Yeah, you see this wild mix. On one hand, that almost absurdly creative enthusiasm from some supporters. Hello, King Pine.
Right. And on the other hand, you've got this really sharp, sometimes darkly funny skepticism and criticism online.
And maybe even more striking is that passionate opposition to William Ruto, crystallized in that Kasongo nickname and those unforgettable metaphors, especially the bicycle one.
Definitely unforgettable. The raw, unfiltered nature of it all, both online and on the street, it gives you a fascinating snapshot. Maybe not perfectly representative, but definitely telling.
And the humor, even the really dark humor, seems absolutely key to how these political feelings are being expressed and maybe even shared.
Totally agree. It's a good reminder that political chat isn't always, dry policy papers and super careful speeches,
No, sometimes it's King Pine showing up.
or the lingering image of a discarded stolen bicycle.
So, maybe a final thought for you listening. What does this kind of passionate, informal, often really humorous discourse, both online and on the streets, actually tell us about the political climate right now?
Yeah, and what does it suggest about where new political movements might go? And what role does humor, in all its shades, really play in how people express political views and get mobilized?
It's definitely something to chew on, maybe even with a bit of a chuckle.